just a hungry soul. I to get a bigger bowl to keep my family better slow when my credit roll. And I know your haters love to talk about me. I don't give a fuck. No God, these hoes will never down me. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Nigga, what? I don't give a. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, what? I don't give a. You know I'm back with another one. Let's go. What's up with y'all, man? How y'all doing today? Man, nice and full. Just got finished with lunch. Man, my taco truck is bomb. Yo, for sure, for sure. Nice and fresh. Oh man, can't beat it. Can't beat it at all. I wish the pho truck was out here, but it is what it is. I definitely go for some pho right there with an egg on top. Yeah. But what's up with y'all, man? Who up in the building, man? Want thank y'all for coming through. I hope y'all having a happy hump day for real. And getting over the hump, or getting your hump on, whatever you do. For real. Whatever you're doing, I hope you enjoyed it. For sure, for sure. We got Derry B in the building. What's going on, Derry? Yeah. Thanks for coming through, Derry. For sure, man. I'm trying to get down, trying to get down in New Orleans sooner or later. I got a little vacation time saved up and try to swing some. I want to take a nice little week-long vacation. You feel me? Yeah, nice week-long paid vacation. Try to do a couple things, a couple days here, a few days there, maybe a weekend or something like that. Yeah, I'm definitely trying to do something. So, hey, gotta use it to the advantage for sure. But thanks for coming through, Derek. RD in the building. What's going on, RD? Ain't seen you in a hot second. I hope everything is all right. It's good to see you for sure. Eric H. What's up, Eric H? Oh, we in here, gang. You already know what it is. Man, we got a nice little topic today too, man. Somehow I always thought about, but after we're gonna get into it in a second. We're gonna definitely get into this. What's up, OG? OG, what up? You already know. We got Courtney. Okay, Courtney Harrison in the building. Hey, what's going on, Court? Thanks for coming through for sure. Torian in the building. Torian Rain. Thanks for coming through, Torian. Man, still trying to see about that game. You said that game tomorrow. I'm still trying to see about that for sure. Okay, OG. Man, I want to thank everybody for coming through, man. Everybody for coming through and seeing what's up with the day. And just chopping it up with your boy. You know how we do. But today, man, it's gonna be it's I don't know. We gonna see. It's something that I always thought about. First time I seen this, you know what I mean? I was a little younger when I first saw it, but it always struck me as like trickery. Yeah, I don't know if everybody see it the same way or how the situation went down. Okay, I know we all, we know Martin is the culture. What's going on, Demarcus? Demarcus the go. Thanks for coming through, bro. We know Martin is, that's the culture, man. That's just part of Black history at this point. Because he did put it down for a long time. Bill Cosby fired the first one, Cosby Show, and all that. But Martin was a time. He was definitely a vibe. He was a time in history, a time in our lives. You know what I mean? One of those good shows that came out and knocked it out. Probably one of the first that really got a good deal from Fox and all that. So yeah, he was. I ain't gotta tell you, Martin was the shit. Period. So going back, I was just watching this show, this episode that we about to talk about. I just watched this probably about a week ago. And it's, the whole thing with him and Gina getting married. And We know they talking about Martin's proposal was one of the best thing ever on TV and all that. We know how it went down. Him and we went got Brian McKnight and all that. He went all out. Okay. But in the first episode, it was a two-part episode, okay, that nobody actually really talks about. Okay, so in the first episode, it was just a little we can break down just so we can really get into it and talk about this whole thing. Because this right here is kind of crazy to me. That Pam told Gina that, they was talking about weddings and all this stuff, and Martin wasn't trying to get married. He wasn't trying to get married for a few years. He said he needed to get established. He ain't trying to, he was being funny about it and all that, but we know what it is. So she basically Pam told Gina, put the press on, basically. It told him, look, if he don't want to marry, tell him if he don't want to marry you. And this was supposed to be a joke at first, okay? Tell him if he don't want to marry you, you're gonna move to New York and take a position in New York. That backfired heavily, okay? We know this. Anybody that's seen the show knows this, that it backfired. Martin was not trying to get married. He basically told her he ain't trying to get married. He trying to be with her, and he want to, he want to build and all the other stuff. And he was being funny about it because it's a comedy show. So, uh, but he ain't want to get married, and he told her that. But after she found that out, then it became real to her. It wasn't just a joke no more. First, it was just a joke. It was, just give him an ultimatum. And it's Brian McKnight birthday on top of that. See, that's crazy, right? And he was the one singing in the park when he proposed. So yeah, see, hey, synergy, man. I love it. I love it. The energy, everything right there. See, but she basically she basically was playing with him. She was trying to, you know, in lack of a better term, she was giving him an ultimatum. And it was at first it was fun and games. It was just to see if, put the press on him, see if he'll propose, see if he'll do it, see if he will at all. She probably wasn't even going to accept the proposal at the time because they wasn't even ready to be married. But at the same time, it was all in fun and games until she found out that he wasn't trying to get married. And then it became real. Then she was like, okay, well, I was doing it just to be jokey joke, just depressing and see what he'd do. If he'll put a ring on it. And then it became real when she said, okay, well, fuck it, I'm just gonna take the job anyway and move to New York since she ain't trying to marry me and all that. She got in her feelings and actually went to shop a job in New York and all that other shit. And then when she came back from shopping a job in New York that she didn't know if she wanted to keep or not. She said she was gonna move and she was gonna accept it. But we know at the end she didn't do that. You know what I mean? Then that's when he started feeling okay, well, I don't want to lose her, so I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And that's when the ultimatum kicked in. So him going from I don't want to get married, I want to wait at least a few years to get married, to her putting the press on him and saying, "Look, well, we need to get married because if you don't propose to me, then I'm moving to New York." That's crazy. If he didn't want to get married, then you should have just stopped the whole joke and shenanigans and just went along with whatever you was doing. Y'all was happy before that. Before this happened, they was laughing, joking, giggling, and all that other stuff. Everything was cool. Before Pam actually introduced that and said, okay, well, if he don't want to do it, then put the press on him and see what happened. You basically gave this dude an ultimatum. When he didn't cave, you said, I'm leaving. I mean, all this started from a joke, but then it became serious because you got your feelings hurt because you didn't get the answer that you wanted. Exactly. Gina was listening to Pam. Exactly, bro. As we already know how those those situations go down. I mean, male and female. But what I mean? But at the same time, he didn't have to do all that. What I mean? He could have just went about his business and did, but he wanted to be with her. So he went out, what I mean? The second episode, he went out, got the ring, he set it up, set up the proposal at the park, got Brian McKnight to sing and all that other stuff. But all this stuff started because of a joke. All this stuff started because somebody else, they went to somebody else's wedding and he was jokey joking, she was jokey joking, then got it, then started taking it serious. And Pam put her on the path to say, okay, well, if he don't marry you, you know, I mean, see what's going to happen. Put the press on, threaten to leave, basically threaten to leave. It wasn't that, yo, tell him you leaving because you actually want to go to New York because you want to start your career there. It wasn't nothing about that. Threaten to leave to see what he'll say, to see what he'll do. When that didn't happen, oh, it became a big problem, a huge problem. Okay. So that's crazy to me. You know, so basically Martin caved because he didn't want to lose her. He caved. You know what I mean? So it wasn't really about love. It was to a certain extent, but it was really about, you know, putting the grips on somebody, you know what I mean, and clamping down because it wasn't really about love at that point. You put an ultimatum on the dude, said that you was gonna leave, he didn't cave, and then instead of you making dropping the threat and just going on about your business, you made the threat real and said, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna leave then. After Pam basically put the battery in your back and told you to threaten to leave, or else if he didn't put a ring on it, you was going to threaten to leave to go to New York, even though you didn't want to go to New York in the first place. You had no intentions of going to New York to do none of that. Monique Nicole, what's going on? Thanks for coming through. Hey, it's real, man. You know what I mean? And this is one of the people say, oh, this the best proposal. Everybody talking about, you know what I mean? Everybody, we want love like Martin and Gina. Was it really love? If she sat up there and gave this dude the ultimatum, all because of what her friend said. But y'all was having fun, all fun and games. Y'all was having a ball. Y'all was chilling, doing y'all thing. He said he didn't want to get married for a few years. You should have just took that and took the time to build until y'all was really ready to do it. Because even after that, y'all still struggled. But because you want to be all big and bad, listening to Pam, because you was listening to Pam, you gonna threaten to go to New York when you ain't even want to, and basically put the pressure on this man to marry you and actually leave, even though you didn't want to. But because your feelings was hurt, you said, fuck it, okay, well, he ain't gonna do it, then I'm just gonna take the threat seriously. And now it ain't a threat, now it's gonna be real. I'm just gonna do this and be done with it. Give up your whole relationship all because of you trying to press a dude to make a statement, just to make a statement that you didn't even want at the time. It was all Pam that was doing it. You know what I mean? Then in the second episode, you even see Pam was the one helping him pick out the ring and all that other stuff. You know what I mean? So she basically set the whole thing up. If you really look at it, it's kind of crazy. But was it really they was that deep in love? I mean, he loved her because he didn't want to lose her and all that other stuff. But at the same time, you basically threaten a man into marrying. Now the ultimatum was fake because we already know us looking. We know the ultimatum was fake in the beginning. There you go. I'm at work right now. I'm doing a lot of stuff. I can't have a lot of people in the background and all that other stuff. You know what I mean? I got a nice little quiet room. But these lives I do, you know what I mean? I'm at lunchtime. So hey, that's crazy. It's crazy to me that you can even do that. That's wild to me. So it's always one friend that causes issues in a relationship. Yep. For nothing. For nothing. I do too. I definitely do too, Monique Nicole. That's why I'm talking about it. This is probably one of my favorite shows. You already know. You said I always said, yeah, I can't do that right now. It's coming though. Believe that. You already know how I get that. But yeah, yep, yep. Said didn't cave when it came to Brady Webb and Thin Line. Yeah, he didn't. He didn't. But when it came to the show, when she was listening to Pam more, I mean, at the end of the day, she got what she wanted. But you basically threatened to leave and put a man in a position where he didn't really want to be in, and he knew you was playing. He called, he called your bluff. He really called your bluff, and you didn't like that he called your bluff. So instead of you bluffing, you turned the bluff into something real and said, "I'm just gonna move to New York." But you was bluffing the whole time. We know this as as viewers, we know for a fact that she was bluffing until it became real. So I never think a woman should pleasure a man. Yeah, pressure a man into marriage. But after a certain amount of time, yeah, conversation, yeah, definitely a conversation needs to be had. And they had that conversation, Monique. Definitely they did. But he told her, it's gonna be a few years before we get married because we not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not trying to do all that chilling, and she, Pam, of course, she gonna throw her hat in the ring. Pam is one of them friends, like he said, that get people in trouble, get their relationships in trouble, saying things out of order. That's why nobody should have any input in your relationship except if you in a relationship with somebody, especially for years, and y'all planning on being together for a while, even if marriage hasn't come up, but y'all good. Y'all been together for some years. This y'all relationship. Nobody else should actually have input in it. Nobody should be doing it. Even the best friend, especially a best friend that's single. Okay. No best friend should be that's single. No single friend should actually be involved in a married couple's decision making or what happens with their relationship. Nobody should add. Especially if they ain't doing the same thing. If y'all doing couples and things like that, and yeah, I can see it. You don't go to a married person don't go to a single person for advice. You go to somebody that been married for 50, 60, 70 years. And the same can be said for relationships. Your single friend, a lot of times, whether it be men or women, your single friend, they gonna do their best job in trying to keep you single and getting you out of relationships because they still want their running partner or misery loves company or whatever the case may be. They may not like the person shit. They might like the person themselves and want them for themselves. There's some snakes out there that do that too. So you never know what their motivations are going to be. But you and that other person are in a relationship. So those should be the only people that have that input. That's just facts. See, I'm still a fan of Martin and Gina. It just came to my attention after watching this episode that she actually pressured him into getting married. She basically pulled the wool over his eyes and ran a game on him. And then when the game didn't work in her favor, then she turned it into something real and said, "I'm moving." She took the threat even further and said, "I'm moving to New York." When at first it was just a fun, it was just games to see what he was going to say. But when he didn't say what she wanted to say, him to say, then it became real. Said, "Yep, see, ladies, you cannot take advice from all your friends." That's right. Some are bitter and not well equipped. That's right, Monique. You said it. You definitely said it. You hit the nail on the head with that one for sure. And that goes for both. That's both ways. You know what I mean? And it goes for dudes too. You know what I mean? Like I said, if they're not in your relationship, it only takes two people to be in a relationship. It don't take three, four, five, your mama, your dad, you know what I mean? All that stuff, things like that. You know what I mean? If your mom and dad have been married and they've been together and all that stuff, even them, I'm not even gonna take advice from them when it comes to a marriage. If you married, you don't take advice from single people. You take advice from people that have been in it for a long time and still going through it. Because they're never going to see it from your perspective. They're going to either see it from a single perspective or they're going to see it from somebody who left a relationship's perspective. They're not going to see it as somebody who actually stuck in it. They're just not. They can't see it because they're not that person. They haven't experienced it. So it's only going to come from a jaded point of view. So I love the first two seasons of Martin because Gina wasn't acting wasn't acting like Martin. Yep. However, when she started acting like Martin, the show was less funny. Yeah, because her and Pam was acting like Martin. At first, it was just Pam. Pam was Martin's. You know what I mean? That was the person that he actually, you know what I mean, sharpened swords with, if you want to put it like that. They played off of each other very well. Pam and Martin always played off each other very well. You know what I mean? Especially in the beginning, you know, when you find behind the scenes that they was actually dating him and you know what I mean, Martin and Pam was actually dating in real life. So that actually played a part in it too. But yeah, but they played off each other extremely well. You know what I mean? As you know, the boyfriend, the girlfriend, and all that. You know, and the girlfriend's girlfriend and all that. So once Gina, I do agree. When Gina started doing all the little antics and all that stuff, trying to act like, yeah, it got a little flaky. It did, it did. You know. So I mean, but it is what it is. Like I said, it's still a classic. It's still a time that we had watching Martin coming up. But this episode, like I said, I seen it last week and it really resonated with me. What happened? What really happened, and why they actually got married, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, because everybody says they want love like Martin and Gina, when that shit ain't even real. How it went down, you know what I mean? You know, listen to the shit like Unbreakable, Alicia Keys. You want all the majority of all the people she said that she want love like Martin and Gina, Will and Jada, all the mother, all that shit was fake. We find out that none of these relationships that she was talking about was was what they really was what people actually thought they were. You know what I mean? Or what people perceived them to be. They just weren't. You know what I mean? They weren't as tight as we thought they were. The love wasn't as strong as we thought it was. Um, it's just it really opens your eyes to what, you know what I mean, like I was talking about before with keeping up with the Joneses. You never know what somebody else is going through. You never know what their ulterior motives are. You never know what's really going on. And why you thinking that, okay, now they got the best love, they got the best this, they got the best. No, behind the scenes can tell a whole different tale, a completely different story. And it's wild. So I remember when Littfield was on the show. Well, yeah, yeah, I remember that. I remember the Miss Trinidad episode. You know what I mean? With Gina about to whoop, she's about to whoop her ass. I ain't gonna lie, for real. And you could tell the love was real, but you know what I mean, as far as how they wrote it, you know what I mean, in the situations they went through in the relationship up to getting married and all that stuff. But that part right there of her basically forcing him to marry her is crazy when you actually think about it. You don't think about it early on. I know when I watched it, I was still a teenager. I wasn't really thinking about it that heavy. So once you get a little older, you've been through relationships, you actually live some life, and you actually see how everything actually went down. It gives you a different perspective on the show in general and how everything went. Um, and that was kind of crazy to me that nobody actually called that out. Nobody ever called it out. They just went along to go and just said, okay, well, yeah, it's Martin and Gina. They love each other, blah blah blah, and that's cool. I love black love. Don't ever get that twisted. I love black love. So you know what I mean. Nobody loves like black people that's really down for each other. The ones that's really ride or die. You know what I mean. We invented that whole ride or die thing anyway. That's ours. So the ones that's really ride or die, that's down with you for, you know what I mean, for everything. You know what I mean? I love that. I love black love when it's like that. You know what I mean? A lot of this stuff that's going on now is kind of crazy. It's a lot of this stuff now. It's what I was just saying for that episode taken to a whole new level when it's not even relationships involved anymore. Now it's just you have ultimatums and you're putting demands on people in order just to date. And that's kind of crazy to me. If you want to date me, you're gonna do this. You're getting automatic ultimatums just to try to go take somebody out on a date. Like, motherfucker, I'm spending my time too. So it's yeah, it's lopsided. It's really, really lopsided. Depending on how you looking at it. Because if you a dude like me that really don't give a fuck about none of that, and yeah, I will just leave your ass on red or whatever you want to say. Whatever you can hey, go on to the next dude with all that shit. I'm not for all the bullshit. It's just not happening. Life is too short. It just is what it is. He said true. Hey, I know Monique the Cole can tell you for real. All day, the real, for sure. So she was my favorite characters on Martin besides Martin. Said who was one of yours? I don't know who one of you who was one of mine. Oh yeah, okay. One of my favorite characters on Martin, besides I ain't trying to get too sidetracked, was uh Jerome. It was Jerome. I mean, he was playing another character, but it was basically Jerome for real. Uh, yeah, yeah, that's my dude because Jerome ain't cared. He was a player. He was funny as hell. You know what I mean? He told it how it was. He did not have no cut calls. He didn't hold anything back. And I love that. I love that for real. He said, "I'm an old soul. These young men out here are not on my level as far as emotional intelligence." I see. I feel you on that. I feel you on that. Definitely. I see that. I can definitely see that movie for sure. Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of them out here that's they're young and they show that they're young. You know what I mean? I can see people that want to be young you can't be young for the rest of your life. You can have a young, a young spirit, but you can't be young for the rest of your life. Uh, a lot of these dudes out here, even dudes my age, that's still out here trying to be young, trying to look young, trying to be around young chicks and all the young girl. I ain't with all that. If you want to be with a young lady, you want to be a sugar daddy, you want to sign up for that, you do that. Not me. I need somebody that's mature. Okay, mentally, physically. You know what I mean? At least not too mature physically. 'Cause I don't want nobody that's all broke down and all that shit. Because we've already talked about this on the show. I have no shame in my game. I'm a freak, so you're definitely gonna have to be able to keep up, and that's what it is. So I like King. Yeah, King B. King B. No, we must dance. Yeah, 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 definitely. So that's a Jerome in the hell, yeah. In your mouth. Hey, he ain't cared. He had no shame in his game. He was trying to spit at Pam. He was trying to spit at Gina. He was trying to spit at anything. That's on him. You know what I mean? That part, that was just funny to me. Because he didn't care. As long as what wasn't nailed down, he'd try to holler. And that was wild to me because I know dudes like that. I know old heads like that. You know what I mean? Hey, it's real. He got that. He definitely got that character from a real person for sure. King baby ladies, I would love to. Yo, John Energy, one of you. Oh, it was the first one. Yeah. Hey, King Beef was that dude. Let's not get it twisted. I gotta go back. I ain't seen. I'm gonna have to go on YouTube and watch some King Beef joints. All the little skits that he had with King Beef because them joints was fire. Yo, each and every one of your words. But first, I must dance. Yo, yo, I love it. See, yeah, I was talking to older man. He doesn't communicate well. Can't take and can't take constructive criticism or take accountability, and I can't deal with that. I don't like nobody that can't take constructive criticism or accountability, especially accountability. You know what I mean? Because if a person can't take accountability, there's no telling the lengths they'll go to make you look crazy while they're actually doing shit. You know, trying to do sneaky stuff and all that, and they're not gonna own up to it. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's just not a good situation. It don't matter if you're man or woman. It's just not a good situation at all. Dragonfly Jones. Yes. Yes. With the missing teethuses. Yo, my dude. And Otis, the security guard, man, Martin had a whole bunch of different, so many personalities. Bob, you know what I mean? All of them. But I say all this to say, man, you can't press people into doing what they want to do. Yeah, it might work out for your favor later on, but you still got to think about what's going to happen in the future. And if you're pressing somebody into doing certain things that they're not ready for, and then it doesn't go your way, let's say you do get your way. You know what I mean? Like Gina got her way, and you know what I mean, she got him to propose the right proposal. You know what I mean? Because he proposed the first time and he was like, nah. He's like, okay, damn, Gina. You know what I mean? Basically, damn. He said, okay, I'll marry you. Basically said, yo, okay, I give up. I'm tired of playing these games, what she was playing. I mean, yeah, okay. And then she gets mad, she gets upset because of the way that he said it. It's like, okay, well, you're playing games. So what else would you think would happen? You thought he was supposed to do the first proposal the first time when you was actually playing games and he knew for a fact that you was playing games? No, nah, it's not gonna happen like that. But like I was saying before, oh yeah, that David Allen, yeah, you damn right. The preacher, what was that, Pam's cousin? He definitely would have did that. He would have did it dirty, but he definitely would have did it. Um, but like I was saying, even in real life, you could do this, and let's say it works out for you. You press, and the person caves, and they end up marrying you or doing whatever you wanted them to do. Okay, stay in a relationship, whatever the case, and then later on, it just don't go how you wanted it to because that person's heart is really not in it. They don't really want to be in that situation. So whose fault? Who do you have to blame but yourself when it comes to that? Because if it doesn't turn out in the way that you wanted it to and everything goes left field, they start cheating on you, uh they run out on you, leave, whatever the case may be, start, what I mean, God forbid, and I never like that, but what I mean, if they start doing domestic abuse, things like that, certain stuff can actually manifest from that because that person was trapped and you basically trapped them in the corner and put them in a position that they really didn't want to be. So now you're going to have to face the consequences and repercussions of whatever happens. So, what I mean, when it comes to that, people can sit up there and blame that person for lashing out, but how can you really blame them when they really didn't want to be in that situation? You pressed them to be in that situation and they caved because they wanted to be with you. Now you can say they're wrong because they didn't have to be in the situation. They could have walked away. They definitely could have walked away. Everybody has a choice. But when you so-called, we've all been there, you know what I mean? When you so-called you think you in love with somebody, or what I mean, you have a strong attachment to somebody and you don't want to leave them. There's a lot of things that you'll put up with that you wouldn't normally. So when she pressed him into that, what I mean, it could have went left field. And I mean, it did go left field because she ended up leaving and what I mean, sticking to whatever lie she had already conjured up and went to New York. But in real life, people always have a chance to leave. They have a chance. You can say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm putting my foot down. If that's how you want to do it, then that's how you want to do it. Go on about your business. If it's meant to be, it'll be meant to be later on. And that's what it got to be. A lot of times you have to make them hard decisions. Is be like, man, fuck it. It's just not worth it. I'm just going to walk away. No matter how long you've been with that person or how much you give a damn about that person. If they put you in a fucked up position, then you have a decision to make. And if you make the wrong decision and the ball's in their court, everything's in their favor, then you lost. You know what I mean? And when you lose a lot. You know what I mean? You do. You know, you may not think about it at first, but later on, it's gonna start. It's gonna start rearing its ugly head. Big Lays, what's going on, bro? Thanks for coming through, bro. I know you ready for tomorrow. I know you are, for sure. Uh, but yeah, man, ultimatums are not good. You should never put ultimatums on people in jobs and things like that. When it comes to business, they're good for business, okay? Because in business, there's not supposed to be any emotion in business, okay? It's just clear cut. We either in this for the money or we not. So ultimatums are good when it comes to that. You know what I mean? It's basically making a decision because the ultimatum in business is, I mean, it's the same thing as making an offer. So you offer, they either decline your offer or they accept. So those are good when it comes to that. But when emotions are involved and things like that, you should never make an ultimatum with somebody that you see yourself being with or down the line, whether it be relationship wise, friendship wise, whatever. Those should never ever come into play ever. It just shouldn't. Because it's gonna backfire on one of y'all one way or another down the line. It's just not gonna end up good. It's not. It's just not. Even if it does initially, eventually something's going to happen because one of them people is going to feel slighted. The one who feels as though they they lost, they're going to feel slighted, and it's going to eat away and eat away and eat away. Or the person that won is not even going to look at them the same because now they won, and they're going to look at it as they're going to look at that person as weak, or you know, what I mean, somebody they can get over on, or somebody that's a little naive or whatever. It's just never going to turn out the way that you really, really want it to turn out. Unless that's your motive in the first place. If you're trying to get somebody to do that just so you can get over 'em. I mean, there are people out there that do that snaky type shit. They'll do that. Like, okay, well, you're gonna do this and with no honor in it. You know what I mean? No thoughts of being real with them or nothing. So that's just something to keep in mind, man. It just brought to my attention last week when I really, really watched the episode. I'm like, damn, she really pressed this dude into marrying her. And it all started off as something that wasn't even real. It was just a joke in the beginning. And people really had to start taking those types of things serious, man. You just don't put people that you really fuck with, you don't put in those type of positions. You just don't. If you really, really fuck with them, if you rolling with them, you riding with them, that shouldn't even enter your mind to put them in that type of position. But people do it every day. You know what I mean? And they'll sit up there and call themselves real and I'm ride or die, I'm this, I'm that. But actions speak louder than words. That's something that will never ever go unchallenged. Actions will always speak louder than words. Thanks, bro. Hey, that was a class. Hey, you know it was. Everybody know that's a classic. Them two, that's a two-parter too. Yo, classic episode. You know what I mean? That's a two-parter, but she did pressing. So you know what I mean? And now when we come to the simp files, I gotta put Martin in the simp file because you could have walked away, bro. Yeah, everything worked out at the end of the day, but you have to go into the simp file, bro. Thanks for coming through, Detroit. My G, what's up? Yeah, I have to put him in the simp file because, dude, she was playing, and you knew she was playing. You and Tommy and Cole knew she was playing. Y'all, you know what I mean? Y'all basically called a bluff and you did everything you was supposed to do to let her know, look, I'm not, we ain't getting married because you want to play these games. And it was games. It was fun and games until she lost. And then she was like, okay, I'm just gonna take my ball and leave and I'm gonna go to New York for real, even though you wasn't going to New York in the first place. Hey, bro. Silver, yup, some silver level though. Hey, we you know how we do Detroit. We gotta call it like it is, bro. You feel me? He could have stuck to his guns because it wasn't real in the first place. If you know what I mean, if Gina wouldn't have listened to Pam talking about, okay, if he real about you, then he gonna do this and this and that. You should just play along and tell him that you just gonna do this. You gonna move to New York. All of it was a game until she figured, okay, well, he's not going for the game. So instead of just dropping it, you going to just say, okay, well, I'm going to win by any means. No, I'm going to go to New York, even though you ain't want to go to New York. You ain't want to start your life over. You want to make new friends. You ain't want to get a new job at a new place and all this other stuff. You ain't want to do none of that. She said she didn't want to do none of that. But just because he wasn't ready to get married or he didn't cave when she wanted him to, it got serious. So nah, you can't do that. You know what I mean? And then when she left, he should have stuck to his guns, but he didn't. He caved when she left. He caved, even though all this stuff you knew was real. You knew it was. He's like, okay, well, she left. Damn, she must have been serious. No, she wasn't serious. It was. It didn't get serious until she lost. And then she really put the press on because then she started looking for apartments in New York and all that other stuff. But when she came back and you proposed and you was doing all that other stuff, when you actually asked to meet up with her and all that stuff, she was still in love with his ass. She was still trying to do everything. So it was like, okay, she wasn't really trying to go to New York, man. She was just trying to press you, and you went for it. You know what I mean? Pam set all that in motion, man, and that's the crazy part. But he caved, after knowing what she was doing. If you know for a fact somebody is trying to play you, and then you let them play you, you basically play yourself into letting them play you because you caved and you know what I mean, because they left you gonna start second guessing what you already knew. That's crazy. You're gonna start second guessing what you already knew. Yeah, you can be in love with them and all that stuff, but if this person is actually, if they have the thought and they have they have all that in their heart to actually go through with the plan, that says a lot about the person that you so-called want to be with. It really do. So sometimes we need a wake up call. We all sometimes take things and people for granted. Yeah, we do. You know what I mean? Both men and women. They can take people for granted. But this was not a case when he was taking her for granted. They was living together. They both had careers. They both was doing things, you know what I mean, to further their careers at the time. So it wasn't as though he was taking her for granted. He wasn't at any time. He said he just didn't. He wasn't in the right mind to get married. He wasn't trying to do it at that time. They'd only been together for a couple years. They both, I mean, she was a little more financially stable than him, so that may have played a part. You know what I mean. If a dude is not making as much bread and all the other stuff, he may not sign up for that. So it all depends on what kind of dude you're dealing with. He said for a fact, you know what I mean, there's a couple more things that I'm trying to get done, blah, blah, blah. And you know what I mean, he said it like 8 years, 9 years. He was being funny. We know it wasn't gonna last that long, but she's like, oh no, 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 hold up. You know what I mean? That's the only part I could say, okay, ain't nobody waiting no 9 years, 8, 9 years to get married. But there's a lot of people that won't even do that. They'll stay together for life and won't even get that piece of paper. But they gonna be together for life because they ride or die. And a lot of the times those last way longer than marriages because they didn't get that piece of paper. They don't cheat on each other. They go to all the events together. They basically living like they're married, but there's just no paperwork involved. But we already know Gina was a little bougie. She was a little sedity. So she thought of herself a little higher. And that really shows the thing, what I mean? That really shows how her mentality was, because you thinking that you better than him. I can do better than you. What I mean? I'm better than this. I don't have to wait on you. So you gonna do what I want you to do right now, or I'm leaving. That says a lot about her character. It really does. All jokes aside, when you really look at it, if somebody in real life is carrying it that way, where they saying, basically, I'm better than this, I'm better than you, and then you gonna do what I say and propose to me, or I'm leaving. That's not what a proposal is. That's not how you want to start the rest of your life with somebody, by them making demands. It's just not a good look. It never is. But I get what you're saying, Monique. Definitely. Some people do. I mean, they be in relationships for 8, 9 years and they still don't want to do nothing. They don't want to make that commitment. They may be cheating on the person or just running around back and forth, what I mean, in and out of the relationship, whatever the case may be. They just not taking it seriously. I definitely understand where you're coming from with that. Some people do need a kick in the ass. Like, look, you need to wake up, because hey, this person ain't gonna be around forever, just waiting for you to get your shit together mentally and stop ripping and running the streets. Yeah. So like I said, both on both sides, there's people that do that shit. And those people, yeah, those you either get it together or they out. And those people will be mad because as soon as they move on and go on to do what they wanted to do, have a kid with somebody, have a family with somebody else, then they be sitting there looking stupid. But they ain't had nobody else but themselves to blame. So it is what it is. So it's very ironic Pam and Tommy didn't get married. Nah, that wasn't gonna happen. Pam wasn't about being bogged down with nobody. She was with Tommy because she rocked with Tommy. She liked the dude, but we already know Pam wasn't. She wasn't settling down. It's not like that. She's the type that would have been, like I said, right there with Tommy here and there, would have had her little flings on the side and all that other stuff. And Tommy was the same. He liked Pam. They both felt each other, but that wasn't gonna last long. We knew that. Yeah, Pam had a stink ass attitude. She did. She definitely did. She looked good though. I ain't gonna lie. Pam always looked good. For sure. I already know Detroit was more partial to Gina all day. He was on Gina. But Pammy baby, yeah. Yeah, Pammy was, yeah, she was bad. She was definitely bad. Both her and Gina was bad. And two beautiful black women, believe that. So Pam took a fake marriage with yeah, yeah, trying to get that bread. Woo, 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 yeah, uh-huh. Try to get that check, as Pam would do. Yeah. So more effervescent. Yo, yo, yo. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's evanescent. Yeah, I guess so. It was. It lasted for a nice little while. They had a nice little time, but it wasn't meant to be. We know this. We definitely know this for real. But yeah, man, with that, I just wanted to bring that up, man. It was something that been on my mind for a few days. Like, oh, I got to say something about this, and it's a good way to get the simp file started. There's definitely gonna be more episodes of the simp files coming, and we're gonna be breaking these down, because there's a lot of them out there in these movies and TV shows, and I think the next one gonna blow your mind a little bit. I ain't gonna lie, because it's not something that you would actually think about, or a person you would think to be a simp. With that said, like I said, I'm about to get up out of here. I want to thank everybody for coming through. DeMarcus the GOAT, thank you. Courtney, thank you for real. Queen, hola, thank you for coming through. Yo, Monique Nicole, thank you for coming through and spending some time with us today. Thank you. Detroit Yo, Detroit King, I'm waiting, man. We got a couple more days, bro. Couple more days to break this thing down. I can't wait for this first episode. I know it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. We're gonna be breaking that down, and I can't wait to get back to my the re-up, man. Start doing my re-ups again. The re-ups are coming. And hey, I got a few bangers. I'm getting my beat selection together now. So yeah, yeah. Be on the lookout for the re-up coming soon. Y'all know how we do. Derry B, thanks for coming through, Derry B. Yo, always repping, always looking out for sure. Eric H, thanks for coming through. Big L, thanks for coming through, bro. I know you ready. I know you ready for tomorrow. I'm waiting to see what you're gonna post. For sure, for sure. I want to see that. RD, thanks for coming through. Yes, OG. Thanks for coming through, man. And Torian, thanks for coming through too, man. I appreciate all of y'all for repping and coming through and just chopping it up with your boy about this. There's more on the way. Got a couple other things dropping throughout Power too. You know, I don't want to get overshadowed by Power, so I want to definitely leave this weekend open for that alone because I already know it's going. Oh man, YouTube's gonna be flooded with power content. But yeah, thanks for coming through, y'all, and chopping it up. And remember, man, if you real about somebody, you ride or die, man. You never put them in a messed up position. You want to put them in the best position possible because you want to be authentic. You want to be real with them, and you want to be real with them, and you want them to be real with you, so y'all can do this together. So you should never do that. You know, what I mean, ultimatums are definitely not the best way to go. Always keep it a buck. Regardless of what the situation is. And if they real, they can handle it. They can. So with that said, man, y'all keep y'all head on the swivel. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of this hump day, and y'all be safe out there.
I need my windows tinted, all the bells and whistles in it, thinking this can't be the game. Nah, this must be a scrimmage. Them buffers can't block me, I'm in your secondary. These bitches temporary, my hustle necessary. And I know